The story of Don't Wake Me Up. Don't Wake Me Up is the last song on my solo record. My first solo record at the time of this recording anyway. And the story of Don't Wake Me Up is like this. I was in the band Sick Puppies. The breakup was very hard on me, the band breakup. And there was a period where I was really very dark and down. And I hadn't really written any songs about the darkness. I'd written songs about the rage and the anger and the frustration, but I hadn't written songs about the sadness and the darkness. And I went to a guitar center to buy a piece of gear. And while I was waiting for the guy, I found this chord progression, and then I found a melody. And I had to stop what I was doing and go home and write this song because it started to come out of me. And I wrote the opening lines to the song, and I realized that it was flooding out, it was coming out of me. And it's the only way to describe it. And luckily, I have enough experience with how to structure songs, and I have enough tools at my disposal and enough experience in the game that when something just comes out of me, I'm able to structure it within the confines of how a song should work, rather than just becoming this self-indulgent mess. However, it was very, very painful to write. It is it's the most successful song on the record outside the two singles. It's the most streamed song. It connected the most. But when I was writing it, I got to halfway through the first verse and I was choking. I was like, I can't do this. This is too real. So I did what any strong, independent man does. I went and got a bottle of vodka, started drinking and kept going. So I did. And I drank most of the bottle of vodka while I was recording the song, and the song, it just came out of me. And luckily, because as I said, of all the experience that I have in the game, I was able to still write the song even though I don't remember writing the song. And I woke up the next day and I had this song that is basically about, and it's a very sensitive topic, not just for me, but for everyone. Because, and I should do a spoiler alert as well. If you have a relationship with suicidal thoughts, or you have a member of your family or anyone who has committed suicide and it's a touchy subject, you may want to skip the rest of the story. So you've been forewarned. On the night that I wrote the song, I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't want to feel pain, but I didn't want to wake up the next day. I didn't want to leave my children. I didn't want to leave my wife. I just wanted it to be over. And I didn't want to be accountable for it. I was being weak and I was being selfish. And I didn't want to continue. What I wanted was to go to bed, die in my sleep peacefully, and have everyone mourn me, and have everyone say he was gone too soon. We were robbed. This is a tragedy. And to not have to be accountable for anything. That was what I wanted. That was my selfish thought. And I wrote the song according to that. I wrote about all of my pain, and then I just wrote "Don't Wake Me Up" until life makes sense, until this starts to make sense, because it's just pain. I can't rationalize all this pain. I can't rationalize, you learn from your mistakes, or everything will pass, or there's a silver lining. I just feel pain, but I didn't want to kill myself. I didn't want to commit the action. I just wanted to not wake up the next day. And so I listened to the song the next day, and I was like, this is the most self-indulgent piece of shit I've ever written. This is so self-indulgent, and I'm glad that I wrote it, because I feel like, I got it out, but I can never, it's too bad, because it's a powerful song. But in my head, I was thinking, the only reason this is powerful to me is because I wrote it and it's mine. And when I hear it, I'm taken back to that night. And then I showed it to my wife as a joke, and I was like, listen to this self-indulgent piece of shit that I wrote. And she listened to it and went, that's really powerful. And I was like, oh, okay, well, whatever. And then my neighbor walked in at the time, and she said, play it to Frank. And I was like, and he was a fan as well. So he was like, yeah, you got a new song? Show him the song. And I pushed play, and we sat there for 5 minutes and listened to this fucking depressing song. And at the end of it, he didn't say anything. And I was thinking he was going to be like, dude, you got issues. Like, he didn't say anything. And when 15 seconds goes past, which is a long time when you just played someone a song. And I'm like, he's trying to figure out a way to be like, man, good luck on the next song. Or like, man, you've really lost it. Or are you okay? And finally, the thing that he said after 15 or 20 seconds of just being silent was, I didn't know anyone else felt that way. And I remember immediately thinking, fuck, I have to put it on the record. And not like, what a hassle. It's like, I'm not fully comfortable with putting that out in the world, but I could tell immediately that it spoke to him at a layer that people don't talk about, which is why it's now the most streamed song outside my singles on Spotify. But it spoke to him at a layer, at a depth that for some reason I was able to tap into because of where I was that night. And so when it comes to my experience in songwriting has gotten me to the point where I was able to write that song by accepting all of the realities of my circumstances, putting it into the vehicle of a song, using all of the rhyme schemes and the 8-bar sections and all that stuff, so that I could go, I'm just going to write how I feel in the way that really presents it the most potently. I'm going to write a song that presents exactly where I'm at in this moment, completely unadulterated, not trying to hide it, not trying to rationalize it, not trying to make it cute and fuzzy. Just, this is it. With the intention of never showing it to anyone. Not with the intention of being famous or getting an applause. I just wrote it to get it the fuck out. Because it was coming out. And once, because of my history and my experience in writing songs for other people, to impinge these emotions for other people, it fell out of me in a drunken haze through this system that I have, which I'm sharing in this masterclass. It stumbled its way through all of the staircases and walls that I've built in how I write songs, that it happened to become created in a way that it impinged the emotion effectively on the other person. And still, I don't know anyone who can hear that song without crying. And so the objective, coming back to the last part of what we were talking about, it is not to remove your emotion from your song. It is to put as much of your emotion into it while simultaneously doing it with the action of reaching the other person. So it is not for the ego of, look at my pain and look at me and feel sorry for me and tell me what you think about me. It is, I have all of these experiences and emotions. I'm going to put it into this structure of a song with the objective that when you hear it, you will now be sharing the experience with me. And I will have been able to guide you on your own emotional journey. So that is why it is very important to be able to detach yourself from the music. If I had been too attached to the music at the time on that night of writing it, I might have just continued drinking and just put on some other people's music and gotten feel sorry for myself. Or I would have written a song that was like, I hate myself and I want to die. And just been, but instead it was, how can I express this in the most pure way and just be honest about it? And it landed, it managed to come out in this way where it landed inside a song that could be translated to other people, and they would feel what I felt. They would be on the journey. I was able to impinge the emotion correctly. So if you're not sure about what I'm talking about, if you haven't heard that song, go and listen to it. But that's why it is so important to be able to mentally detach from your music and make it not about you, but make it about the purpose of writing the song and bringing everything that you have to the equation with that in mind. That's why. Thank you so much for watching this series of videos. I am sure you got a lot of value out of it. Maybe it was a bit challenging, maybe it was a little bit eye-opening, but this is the part of the series where I tell you, if you would like to take your journey further, then it's time to click that link. It's time to go and watch the free webinar where I show you inside the rest of the course, show you all the homework, show you how this is going to elevate your songwriting to the next level, and also invite you to become a part of our community where there are people just like you who are in the same mindset and trajectory, and they want to achieve the same things that you do for themselves. And we do a weekly call every Sunday with me personally, where I go through your songs and we help, break through any barriers that you guys have got, help you get better, help you bring your best self to your songs. There's 7 more courses just like this that go through everything I've ever learned in my history as an award-winning songwriter. There are constantly more uploads. There are challenges where we can actually, every month we learn how to write a new type of song or add a new tool into our pre-existing songs. There's regular calls with the rest of the community. It's literally the best place online if you want to learn how to write your best songs. I know there's a lot of courses and I know there's a lot of other communities that they teach you about, bookending and how to write a hook or how to get 1 million followers. They never go deep enough. This is the deepest course you're ever going to find. So if you're willing to dive deep and if you're willing to do the work, which I think you are if you came this far in the video series, if we haven't scared you off yet, this is the course that can change your life. That's why I built it. So click the link, go to the webinar, you can watch the whole thing from front to back and you can see everything to expect. It's totally free, and I can't wait to meet you inside. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you over there. Bye.
I didn't realize how much I didn't know about creating songs. Everything from creating vocal melodies to matching words to these melodies, and how different words even sound differently when sung. Shim himself as an instructor is outstanding. His communication is phenomenal, and he's really able to cut through all the fluff to get down to the nitty-gritty of what we're actually trying to achieve, which is creating a song. Not only that, but he also really motivates you to dig deep and to draw from both emotion and experience, which I found incredibly helpful. Since learning from Shim, I've actually managed to go on and write for another artist. However, looking back on some of the lockdown sessions, which are still some of the best times in terms of songwriting in my life, one line that really stood out was, "You can't step forward with 1 foot in the past." And yeah, I'm pretty proud of that one. And again, I would have never reached the level that I have without Shim's instruction. I can't even say enough about the amazing community that he's created. So many like-minded, driven, and supportive individuals who really go out of their way to help each other out. It's been an absolutely incredible experience. And then I just wanted to add really quickly, also another part of the course that I really, really enjoyed is being able to look back on the lockdown sessions, because they were so much fun and such a great learning experience as well. So the ability to go back and do that and to relive that, and also to see Shim kind of in action in terms of teaching the songwriting process, has been really, really cool.
I'm a metal songwriter, and I've taken songwriting course in the past, and most of them were focused on technical aspects of songwriting. Very little courses focused on things like your intent on writing music, or your emotional attachment to music, or ideas or emotions you want to convey in your music. Shim course covers all this. From a guy who wrote awesome songs like You're Going Down and Maybe, and that one song for Resident Evil 2 soundtrack. Shim is great as instructor, very straightforward, he cuts all the crap and gets straight to the point. Me personally, I'm not a beginner, I have experience in writing music, however, I learned lots of new stuff in this course. For example, everything that's related to writer's block, we all hate when it happens, and Shim gives you all the right tools and right tricks to overcome it. Lockdown sessions, videos is another cool and fun part of this course, where you can see how Shim puts everything he talks about into action and actually writes songs on live streams. Also, these videos are quite funny to watch, and this is cool because you don't have to learn on something that is boring and made in academic language. The community itself is very positive and helpful. It's non-toxic, and everybody are open to give you some constructive feedback on your songs or to collaborate with you. It really is the best place on the internet, trust me. Either to begin writing songs or to get better at your craft. My advice is don't hesitate and get this course.
From this community, we all were able to watch each other grow and really become not only like the songwriters we were supposed to be, but also like, the humans we were supposed to be. We were all very close, and like we were able to really just bond as a creative community. Like, I see some of these people now writing songs that have thousands and thousands of streams, and it's really nice to see these people that I really grew to love succeeding. just because we had somebody who was willing to show us. With Shim at the helm, it was always really, here's the song. Here's what you wrote. Now what do you think you can improve? And he wouldn't give us the answer, he would guide us to the answer. And I feel like we all gained some really good supportive friends in the experience because we were able to see through their eyes what they've been going through. And it really just connected us with these lifelong friendships.
Shim as a teacher is absolutely amazing. He is patient, he does exactly what you want a teacher to do. He pays attention to what you're doing and he coaches you through where you're having trouble. He makes sure that you know exactly what it is that you need to work on, and he helps you through it. My feelings towards myself have changed so much since I've joined the Hollywood Rebellion. I have gained so much self-esteem. It's amazing to me that I didn't realize that my voice mattered. And it really does feel like it does within the Hollywood Rebellion. We actually are a community. We do support each other. We love each other. We want to see each other succeed, no matter what that success might be. And that's a beautiful thing to see. A lot of times when it comes to creative people getting together, they have the terrible tendency of being jealous of each other and competing, and that's not what this is about.
I learned so much from the course that I did not realize how much I didn't know about the finer details of the songwriting craft. Tim is an amazing instructor. He cuts through all the bullshit and he gets down to the deep core reason of what we're all trying to do when we're writing songs. He communicates all of this so much better than anyone else that I've ever encountered or ever seen. Everyone in the community is really supportive and creative. This is the best community that I've actually been a part of. It really helps me feel like I can try new things and just get better and better. I was a very timid writer. I've been writing for over 20 years, and the Hollywood Rebellion is actually one of the first communities that made me feel safe. It was a very safe place to bring out my creativity. It made me think outside the box. Shim makes things extremely comfortable, and he is just that guy that you're collaborating with who you can just talk to. It's changed my view on not being so timid, and it's let me open up and definitely become a better writer.
Everybody really gets a chance to be heard. He really interacts with every single one of you. He'll answer any of your questions with great detail. Take my word for it. And I really think that the level of interactivity and engagement, not only with Shim and the audience, but also the community it creates, is something that is entirely new in this modern age. And I think truly it's an unprecedented experience in rock and roll.